Welcome back. You're watching On the Record. I'm Shireen Bhan, and we're in conversation with Indigo's Peter Elbers on their aspiration to convert Indigo to a global airline. What looks most exciting to you from an Indian aviation point of view? And I ask you this in the context of the fact that it's a story that's seen very little success and more failure. I'm not asking you to comment on what has led to the failure, but I'm asking you to comment on why you are such a big believer in the Indian aviation growth story today.
Again, I think part of it is timing, and I think certain dynamics have taken place in India when it comes to economic development, which will not go back anymore. So, you know, aviation is always there's always a correlation between GDP growth and aviation. But what we see today is probably a couple of elements coming together. One is the GDP growth. Two is the fact that the infrastructure is being upgraded significantly. So the government policies when it comes to making more airports, when it comes to enlarging existing airports, when it comes to enlarging facilities. You know, if you see some of the new airports which are there, or some of the changes, Bangalore I think is a great It's a fantastic airport, it's a world-class airport. Next year we have a new airport in Delhi. Finally we have two airports in Delhi.
Mumbai?
I was about to come to Mumbai, but you're quicker than that. You know, we have Shanghai, New York, Tokyo, Paris, London, Sao Paulo. They all have two airports. Delhi had only one, and Mumbai had one, and the one in Mumbai, even with all its limitations in terms of runway. So against that backdrop, I believe that GDP growth, infrastructure, consumer spending, and the demographic dividend of the country will fuel that aviation boom, domestic and certainly international as well.
Given the fact that you've got the largest order that you've placed globally, how are you dealing with the current supply constraints, and what could that mean potentially as far as your own expansion plans are concerned?
You know, the global manufacturing or aircraft manufacturers and engine manufacturers are clearly still struggling after 2 years with all the post-COVID supply chain workforce challenges we're having. I think Indigo is actually very well positioned. Indigo placed already a couple of orders prior to COVID, which we are benefiting now. And indeed last year, and it's probably one of the highlights, we placed the largest ever aircraft order with 500 planes coming in for the next decade. Which means that Indigo has one plane a week for the next decade to come into India. So as much as we're sort of engaging with the manufacturers, and you know, you said it's going to be July 1st, so please deliver on July 1st. I think with our bases here, we are equipped to deal with that. In addition, we've taken quite a few mitigating measures, you know, some short-term leases, some operational measures to live up to our capacity guidance. And we've done so last year, and we've done so our first quarter as well.
So are we likely to see that, the leases be something that you aggressively take forward more and more, given the constraints, with what, about 70-odd planes grounded at this point in time on account?
I would hope less and less, candidly. You know, if these planes, you know, over time these manufacturers will get their supply chain sorted out.
But what is the indication that you get at this point in time?
I wish I would have a sharper view on that. So we're constantly engaging to them, and basis that we've taken some proactive measures, of which the leases are one of them. Over time, I believe that these issues will be sorted out, and with these issues being sorted out, we are back to basically the Indigo operation as it stands today. And again, here I think Indigo is uniquely positioned. There's no airline in the world receiving as many planes as Indigo does. So sort of every month that goes by, I mean, average level, we get four new planes coming in. So every month that's come by, 4 new are coming in. So we're basically building up that buffer in order to deal with those fluctuations. So and I would say at one point in time, whenever that is past us, we should be able to do without some of these short-term leases.
The thing that Indigo launched with and prided itself on was on-time performance, and what we have seen happen is that there has been a deterioration in that number, and it has impacted not just your, numbers, but the industry in general on account of the fact that you're the largest player in the business. What is the challenge? What's the biggest problem at this point in time? And as a consumer, we're sort of circling around Delhi and Mumbai for a good 30 to 40 minutes before we land on any given flight that we take. What's the big challenge that you're facing there?
Well, I can assure you, Shireen, we're not letting you circle around Delhi or Mumbai for the fun of circling around Delhi or Mumbai.
That's what I'm trying to ask you. Like, why are we dealing with these issues today? Is it? I mean, you hear air traffic control, you hear congestion. What exactly is the problem?
I think that's two of the reasons. We are closely collaborating with the airports, with air traffic control, in order to cope with demand. I think what's happening in India, the entire growth post-COVID is going at such a pace where we need to keep up also with the infrastructure on the ground, infrastructure on the air. So a lot of the efforts today are being made to make sure that that infrastructure is there. And some places in the country it goes quick and fast, and some other locations, I think Delhi is one of them, it's just complex. It's 3 terminals and then the runways, and a lot of work is being done and expansion is going on. So it's really a collaborative approach which we need to have. Clearly the bad weather season which we had last winter has learned us a lot of lessons. It didn't all went well. Also on our side we learned a lot, so we did our best. Our teams did really a fantastic job. But did it all go well? No, it didn't. So also there we are learning on how to do better. So, for example, for this winter we have created an entire set of sort of operational preparations, if you wish. Increase some block times, increase some operational procedures, change some metrics, have some further enhancements of airports infrastructure. Operational decisions to be taken. So that's all being prepared in order to deal with that challenge. And I'm glad you point out it's an industry challenge, but for us, indeed, given the size which we have, and especially on Delhi and Mumbai, which are the most busy airports when it comes to sort of usage of airspace, that's a challenge for all.
Can you say goodbye to us in Hindi? Can you say goodbye to us in Hindi now that you've learned Jugaad?
We'll keep that for next time.
We'll keep that for next time. Peter, it's been an absolute pleasure. We wish you the very best of luck as you kickstart your 19th year here in India and aspire to take Indigo global. But many, many thanks for your time and appreciate you joining us here on The Record.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Well, with that, it is time for us to wrap up this edition of On The Record. From all of us here on the team for now, goodbye and many thanks for watching.